Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Justin's Drink Reviews and More. We're back at it again here at MoonJoy Meadery in Lenore, North Carolina with Daniel here. And I'm going to let him introduce himself. You guys hit the subscribe button below, the like button, comments, and let us know if you drink any meads or what meads you like. If you want to introduce yourself, then whatever you guys do.
Thanks. My name is Daniel Phillips. I'm with MoonJoy Meadery in downtown Lenore. We create local meads from North Carolina honey and spring water with local fruit and other ingredients. If I have to buy ingredients to make mead with that aren't produced in North Carolina, I buy organic, and we don't add preservatives to the mead. So it's as natural as we can make it and keep it, and we make it all right here in-house. And we have a small production facility in the back and a tasting room in the front that we're all enjoying some mead in right now.
Beautiful place. Small nook, you know, like walking up to it, you also wouldn't even know it was a meadery just by tuning into it. Beautiful place inside. You guys have, yeah, unless you know how to read, you guys have met Levi on the end, and you guys have also met Gabe. They've both been on the channel several times now. We have set a flight here that we're going to be going through as Daniel talks to us about the ones that he's got. I'm drinking, he's drinking, and he's drinking, and he's going to explain to us what it is, and then we're going to review it for you guys as normal. So we're going to go from, I think everybody's set the same, left to right. Alright, so we'll start left and go to the right, or we'll leave the...
We should start here on the right actually and go to the left.
Okay, so we'll go right.
So we'll start with the dry to sweet. So the traditional dry mead is a really simple recipe. It's just sourwood honey from western North Carolina and spring water that's from about 20 minutes from here, and some yeast to ferment it with, and that's it. It's really simple. All the flavor and aroma comes from honey, and I think it's one of our, I want to say, top 5 sellers, definitely. We have entered it into a few competitions and come close, but not in the top 3 yet with that one. A bit new.
How does the competitions work for mead?
There are a lot of wine and mead competitions that are popping up all over the United States and a bunch in North Carolina. So we took the mead, cider, and fruit wine competition here in North Carolina. We took best in show for Dark Horse, which we'll talk about here soon, and we won bronze for a semi-sweet traditional mead, and our blackberry mead also took bronze for that competition. But there's so many. I mean, you could send bottles out constantly in all these different competitions.
I really like how this one, like, it starts off like a tingling, almost like it's gonna be sour. Like, it's weird. You like it plays with the palate, and then it kind of dissipates.
Off with a very strong honey flavor.
It's a good honey.
Yeah,
It's a good honey. I like it.
This one, the traditional dry, is fermented out completely dry. There's no sugar left in the solution. I mean, there's still going to be some calories and some other forms of sugar.
Calories?
All the,
Oh no!
All the sugar's been fermented up in alcohol.
That's good.
So this one, traditional dry, is great for people who are watching their sugar intake, you know, big on fitness, that kind of thing. It's very simple. Yeah, well, it's a, yeah, as much as we can say that word, it is.
As healthy as you can be against hamburger.
Yeah, with honey and
No,
sugar.
we liked it when it was still healthy. It's healthy.
Hamburger and healthy don't start with the eggs.
Right.
So
I like that.
we'll move on to the Knoll Ruffs.
So Knoll Ruffs is a fun word. It is a word for bedhead after sex when it's
I don't have that.
and then, so this one's just shy of 2 years old, and it is made with cacao, dates, and some raw cacao nibs are in there, and some Mexican drinking chocolate. It has a tiny bit of spice to it, a little cayenne. But this one is also extremely dry. It's fermented all the way out at 15.5%. This is one of the very first meads I made for Meadery, which why it's so old. Just 2 years now.
Is that how long y'all been open? Or?
That's when we got our brewing permit. So we got a brewing permit in like May of 2020, and we opened October, Halloween 2020.
about the same time I started the channel. I started in December 12th, 2019, so it was about the same time. Almost 3 years.
Definitely get a good chocolate note on this, but it's not like a heavy chocolate beer.
It's a light.
It's not, yeah, it's not overwhelming, but it's definitely there.
It's like that perfect amount of chocolate like with a Reese's peanut butter cup.
I could say, or
where
you
you have
maybe a
that
kiss.
just a little bit of chocolate. and it's
Like,
large.
good.
I'm glad you enjoyed.
Definitely, because I'm not a huge chocolate person either. I don't really eat chocolate or nothing.
Well,
and
that plays in with it not being
that's
very heavy.
way different. That's really good. Especially for like if you're somebody that doesn't like chocolate, it doesn't weigh heavy just on the chocolate side.
What other flavors did you say for the?
So there's in the Knoll Ruffs, there's black cherry, cacao, a little vanilla bean, Mexican drinking chocolate has cayenne pepper in it, and a little bit of ghost pepper. But it's extremely mild. When I do heat, it's very subtle. I like it to be an undertone or an aftertaste, not just scorched earth. You know, you should enjoy your beverage and be able to drink it long term. That was one of the, like when we first started the Meadery, I would take a bottle of a new mead home. If I could drink the whole bottle and still want more, it's good to go.
That's a great way to analyze it.
Yeah, you would have made a lot more meat had for that.
I really liked. I guess that was the chocolate thing for me. Was like it kind of tasted like those chocolate covered strawberry or cherries that had the cream inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. There's that hint.
So there's another mead we made called chocolate Kirschbeer, and that is a strong tart cherry with a very rich chocolate flavor, and that's my take on chocolate covered cherries.
We're
Just
gonna
touch
have
of
to do
vanilla
more
bean in there,
reviews.
too, just to smooth out the chocolate.
I like that. That was one of the ones I was really looking forward to trying. We've been here probably, I don't know how long, probably here a good hour. At least
I'd
an
say
hour.
that.
Drinking and trying different ones. They have a huge selection. How many do y'all have on tap to try?
We have 15 different meads out right now, 14 bottles that you can take home. We also have so many more coming out seasonally now. I have this fall coming out a peach cobbler mead, a Russian tea mead. This summer we'll be releasing a blackberry pineapple that's only 8%, so it should be nice and light, very, like you're riding around on a lawnmower.
Very open drink.
Yeah, hot summer day.
Riding around on a lawnmower, getting shit canned. You're my kind of friend.
That's great. We drink a decent amount for the most part. So I mean, going into meads, I've never had a mead until I started hanging out with Levi, and it completely changed my mindset towards different types of alcohols. Everybody's had vodkas and scotches and porters and things like that. So when you drink meads, it takes wine to a whole other sweetness level. You have that dryness, but if you drink a dry red wine, you're gonna be whacking your tongue for hours. A dry mead is gonna be more sweet and more moist and palatable. You got a lot more flavor.
And their dry red wines are very astringent. They suck all the moisture out of your mouth.
It's a cotton mouth for persimmon.
Again, I believe there needs to be that balance. So yes, we have plenty of dry beverages.
That's what the Knoll one was, right?
Yeah, dry, the traditional dry. We also have a Wolf's Fang, which is a chocolate, coffee, cinnamon, vanilla mead.
We've been looking at that.
It's really good.
How heavy
Great
is the
coffee
cinnamon
flavor. In
the
Wolf's
coffee?
Fang?
Yeah.
It's light. So cinnamon is so easy to overdo. Cinnamon is incredibly strong, and it can burn out all the other flavors if you add too much.
That's
So
what we were
always
talking about
go
earlier. It's a heavy
low
cinnamon
on it, and then later on, if we need to, we'll add a little bit more to adjust the flavor. But we always start under and adjust up if needed. It's a lot safer.
So that was our halfway point. We're going to go into our third one, which is your award winning.
Yeah, so we
Dark
won
Horse.
Best in Show in Gold for Dark Horse. It's also a #1 seller across the board. Dark Horse is my mother-in-law's recipe. Actually, she taught me to make mead.
Oh,
We started this meadery together.
That's cool.
So she's been making mead for a decade, longer now,
Prost.
and she has a big passion for mead making. She's also been a tattoo artist for the last 23 years.
This is special. This
That
is
one's
really,
way
really
different than.
unique.
When I say we've been
Super
here for an hour,
different.
we've been drinking the entire time we got here, and this is probably the most diverse one that I've tried.
So it's a very strong flavor. You get a lot of the date prune profile, and then there's cloves, cinnamon, allspice in there, which is a very pretty strong spice mix comparatively to a lot of our
But
other spice
you've done
meats.
them well. Yeah, you've done them well.
The honey, so we add, this one's very sweet. It's actually past dessert level
I was about to say, it's
sweetness.
just like a juice.
But the strong spices balance out that sweetness and kind of make it just less sweet and very drinkable.
Agree with
It
that.
kind of reminds me like
It's also amazing warmed
like a
up in
coffee
winter.
pound cake.
I bet this is it's a mold lead.
So
Pound cake?
you
Warmed
take a
up.
bottle of Dark Horse and you stick it in a crock pot full of water on low, and you leave it for about an hour and a half, and then you pull it out, pull the cork, and pour it and drink it, and it is amazing.
Take
Do
our
not heat up
pretty
an
lady, you're
open
losing your crock
bottle.
pot.
Do not pour the mead or wine or whatever you want to heat up into an open crock pot. It'll
Don't put the
taste
bottle in the crock
horrible.
pot.
Yeah.
Alright, so indirect heat.
Yes.
Indirect
To a
heat.
closed bottle.
So would you say? I know a lot of them like change. I changed my entire like whiskey and Scotch perception from drinking room temperature.
Yeah.
Is there a better temperature setting that would be more diverse for meads? Is it better cold, or is it just
So-
such a huge broad spectrum?
Sweeter meads are better colder because the coldness cuts down on the sweetness. So you could always, oh, my mead's a little too sweet, drop an ice cube in it. It'll water it down just enough to smooth out that overt sweetness and make it a lot more palatable for you.
And then, like when you drop ice and your water gets into your whiskeys, it pulls the strands apart. So I assume it's kind of the same thing.
It definitely smooths it out and makes it a bit easier to drink if you're not a big fan of like very sweet meads. But like I said, the spice balance on that makes it very drinkable, even though it is very sweet.
It almost has like a very light rum.
I would agree that this walks the fine line. You can do this very cold or warmed up, and it would be quite delicious. I mean,
Warm
the
is-
notes are hitting.
Kind of like an eggnog. Like it's a late fall, wintry drink for sure.
Absolutely. A lot of people drink this and they say it's like fall in a bottle.
See that? It'll be at my next fuel.
Yeah. That one's really good. Definitely has to be one of my more favorites out of the list that we've had for the day.
I can see why it's won the award. Going.
Yeah.
It's different. It's special.
Your mom would like this.
Yes.
And it's got that like perfect dryness to where it's like not dry but moist at the same time. Like the palate is dry
The
but the
trigger word of
refreshing.
the century.
Yeah, I try so hard not to say moist when I'm doing my drinks, but it matches so yeah, it matches so perfectly because it can taste dry on the palate, but it's more of a refreshing drink overall.
It's good.
It's kind of like a lemonade. Lemonade dries out your mouth, but it also is refreshing in the summertime. Kind of like that. And then we're gonna move to the last one, which is Finland Bound, and if I'm not mistaken, is your newest release.
Yes. So Finland Bound is another returning mead that has been long awaited. Finland is actually the first Viking settlement on the now Canadian coast, the east coast of Canada. Was their first establishment there. So
Before
a little-
Christopher Columbus.
yeah,
Way
you missed it by a lot.
Way before.
But Finland Bound is one of our super local recipes too. The muscadines. This is a sweet muscadine recipe. It's 18.2% ABV. It's sweet, but again, it's balanced, very drinkable. I'm actually sipping on a little bit of this right now. I really enjoy it.
You really can't taste like a whole fluctuation of alcohol either. The way the fruits and everything are well put in.
I know.
Hides
Smooth
itself
across.
up.
My superpower is hiding alcohol and other flavors.
I can attest to that.
A
It's
lot
a good
of our
power.
meads
I can feel my
are
cheeks get
very
warm.
high in alcohol, so do be careful when you're drinking them.
Give it DD.
All
You're
of
not
these-
here, but she's there.
And
Yeah,
we're
all
all
the
Italian
DVDs,
like
you're
of course.
drinking home with some friends. Be safe about it, definitely, especially with the Finland Bound. It's very strong, and it sneaks up on you. But fortunately, mead is a very joyous buzz, and it makes people happy.
And the best thing I like about it is
Discuss that, honey.
I'm not a
Happy in what you're
fan.
doing.
I'm not a fan of sticky drinks, and where it like makes your mustache, your lips feel like they're sticking together or something like that.
Oh,
Russ,
It's more smooth. It's not overwhelmingly sugary, and I think that makes a huge difference.
that's good.
Where like it, I don't know. I just hate drinking something that makes me feel like my lips are sticking together.
Never drink and rage,
So
children.
you're thinking of a syrupy, thick beverage. In mead, you
Like
would
some
get
like
that
your crowns, you know,
from
when they're really
an
sugary.
over amount of honey in the beverage, or I've even heard of wineries and other places that will add vegetable glycerin to their beverage for mouthfeel, so it's not so watery, so it's thicker. And of course that
That doesn't sound good at all.
No, and
Yeah.
we do not do that at all.
It's important.
The only sugar we use is honey and whatever's contained
Love.
within the juice or fruit that we use. There's no white sugar or molasses or anything else that's used. It's just honey and fruit juice. So we try to stay as pure as we can with our ingredients and use whole ingredients. It's just like cooking, you know, like you can
As
microwave
accurate as
some
it can.
shit, or you can like go out in the garden and gather some ingredients and make a kick-ass meal that's full of flavor.
And you can taste the difference. I've had several meads, like I said, since meeting Levi, and we've traditionally like tried like closet wines and stuff like that, and made like over time, 3 months and 6 months. But you can taste the difference between like a professionally made mead compared to a brushed closet. Because I was somewhere dark deep in YouTube somewhere one night, and I watched like a 10-hour like mead documentary for no reason. and we were sitting there, and I was, yeah.
There's
I was
never
like,
not a
wow,
reason to learn about
there's
mead.
so much to learn from it.
The best way to
From,
learn about
like,
mead is to drink it.
they used it as a honeymoon thing.
Yeah.
They used it as a honeymoon. That's where kind of like all the honey and stuff, you know, like they used it as a honeymoon integration. Everybody, like the husband and the wife, would have a lot of meat. That way they can make
That's,
babies pretty much on their
that's
honeymoon.
actually where
Yeah.
the term honeymoon comes from.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it does. That's the origin of it. They would give
It would be a whole month.
Yeah, a month's supply
Instead
of
of,
meat
like-
to make sure the business got
I
done.
learned so much. I learned so much in that 10 hours that I forgot I had to clock in 2 hours.
Again, there's never not a reason to learn about mead.
It's a super
Always
interesting
good.
subject that spans the entire globe. So you have references all over the planet to mead recipes. You have Chinese references from 8,000 BC. You know, they have mead recipes in China. And it goes way back. It's considered one of the oldest beverages in the world. It could be possibly 20,000.
It's the
30,000.
easiest one to obtain.
It's crazy, but there's no written records. We have no idea.
People have always appreciated bees amongst.
Of course they have.
Well, yeah,
It makes
super
the world go
sweet.
round.
They allow us to eat more times than not. I mean, a lot of the things we eat rely on honey. So,
May I have another 6 ounces of the Finland?
Finland, you got
It's very popular, very good.
I can do it.
It's moving.
What's her name? Is she usually at the
Madonna.
counter?
Yeah.
Madonna. If you guys ever do come in here,
And you
Madonna will
should.
be at the counter. Take care of you 100%.
You come in front. It's
It
okay.
was the best customer service. Once we came in, it was probably the best customer service place that we've ever been to, as far as like
Yeah.
bars, breweries, or anything.
Yeah,
Where like everything was stopped to make sure you were taken care of. And I love it. And she's so knowledgeable about what she's doing too.
very knowledgeable in bees.
Absolutely. Madonna's one of my best employees, definitely. We're blessed to have her here. we've been blessed with good employees, generally speaking, overall, and the city has been super supportive. The city, offices and the Chamber of Commerce and all the locals that live here have been amazing and super supportive. And we're pushing out into Blowing Rock and Hickory. We've been
new locations, like
just distributing into other established restaurants, bottle shops, grocery stores, that kind of thing.
Because when I messaged you,
we're in Hickory Station and the craft beer cellars.
That's where I found you, was at Hickory Station. Because of Levi.
Yeah, and so there's another guy. I don't want to say too much about it, but there could be a Mead Hall coming to Hickory by this fall, and we will be potentially the major supplier.
We'll be there.
Here I am, bloody
at least
moving
every
the
other week.
So Hickory is going to get a large infusion of MoonJoy Mead here very soon.
That's awesome.
That is a terrific thing to hear.
What is your favorite on
Mess
your
that
list?
up.
Or even like since you started, I know you said like 2 years, pushing 3.
Your
Out of all of
beer
them.
is definitely it's my favorite mead. It's a straight blackberry mead. It's just blackberry, local blackberry, spring water, and sourwood honey. And it's a super simple recipe. The blackberries have a lot of flavor in them. They have a lot of tannin and other things in there that contribute to. It's very wine-like almost, but it still has a different mouthfeel than your standard wine. But it's 15%. It's 100% local, and it's a great semi-sweet, middle-of-the-road mead. It's not too sweet, not too dry. It's kind of pairs well with like burgers and steaks, that kind of thing.
It really
But,
does.
It's like that mushroom.
Smiley face.
And then Finland
Smiley
Bound.
face. It's happy to be here.
Yeah, Finland
So
Bound
much.
has definitely been my second favorite
I would be
thing.
happy if I was always
It's
full of meat.
good. It really is good. The Finland is right up there with the best meats I've had.
So
And I've
myself
drank a lot.
included in this, jumping into meads for kind of the first time. What would you suggest or notably say about somebody jumping into meads for the first time?
Especially for the first time, do a tasting flight. We have tasting flights here. You get 4 2-ounce pours of each mead. We usually have 12 to 15 meads available. So if you and a couple friends came in and each got a different tasting flight, you could all try something on the menu and experience the whole thing. I'm usually around, LaDonna is, or my wife, or other employees that we have are here. We're happy to talk with you and explain things, show you the back production area. Like today, we bottled 80 gallons of Dark Horse.
I can tell you why they bottled it.
They knew we were coming.
They're gonna rake in a lot of money on that dark horse.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's number 1 for a reason.
Yes, I do like brewing all kinds of different meads and whatever just pops into my head or customer suggestions. We brew custom batches for other businesses, for weddings, for my employees sometimes request little specialty batches, or customers who have kegerators at home.
Somebody buy one of those.
Yeah, request batches, so you can buy a keg of mead for your house and just have it on tap in your living room or your man cave.
Paul
or
Holland's
wherever.
about to change.
This
Yep.
changes
Everything.
a lot of things.
Paul Holland's
This
about to
changes
change a lot.
everything.
That's
I did
Paul
not know
Holland
that
is the
was a
6 acres I was telling you about.
And we can come from you
We
directly
have-
for a
We
mead.
have natural pear trees. We have a couple of natural apple trees.
Persimmon trees.
Persimmons, blackberries, and you
Persimmons
have that
mess you up.
spring. We could make a Paul Holland mead.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. So the Germans make Rumtopf, which is they make their own moonshine, and then they'll from spring to fall, what they'll do is they'll stuff these jars of moonshine with all the seasonal fruits. And so when it's cold and nasty outside, which I've been to Germany in the winter, it's freaking cold
I
and
agree.
nasty.
When I was in Regensburg, it was
Yeah,
terrible.
but they'll pop open these, things. They've been soaking for like 6-8 months in these fruits and drink this moonshine.
That's the
And,
best.
or you can use anything that's over 80 proof. You can use.
I love it when the fruits turn gray. That's how you know it's
Because American moonshine, if you put fruits in it and you eat the fruits in the moonshine, it tastes like cardboard.
Is that I got Listerine. I didn't get cardboard out of mine.
I got something that made me not want to have it.
But we're talking about like picking fresh, juicy fruit right off the tree and adding it straight in there. The flavor of
I do
like
have
the
a-
fruit you get out of your yard versus the store is going to be really different.
I don't know if you remember which one you tried, honey, but there was one that was made with apples. What kind of apples do you use? It was a tardier mead. Is it like a green apple?
Oh yeah,
or-
so I have, I'm out of it right now, but it was a special request mead that I make a batch that's made from Granny Smith apples.
Okay. That's what we
And
were
so-
thinking.
That was good.
It
We were
was
thinking-
very good. It was called Sin Sour Apple, and that one was 100% Granny Smith for that one. And I'm working on some other apple meads, and they're just generic local apples. But those, I'm doing a apple spiced mead called Blood Spell No. 19, and that has like 8 different spices in it. I want to say, along with some ginger root, whole crushed apples, and honey.
When you do the apple ones, what you should do is like Lincoln County has a apple festival every year, and you can come down there. If you was to do an apple mead and come down there and sell during the apple festival, you'd probably make it.
Or you could just share with us.
Yes.
So
Get
Lenore
rid of
is
the same
doing
amount.
a Blackberry Festival this summer, and we'll be part of
Blackberry
that.
Festival?
So there'll be all things Blackberry here this summer, right here downtown. We'll have Blackberry Mead and maybe some other stuff like that. Blackberry
Blackberry
pineapple.
Sounds like
talking
fun.
about.
That blackberry meat is awful good.
It is
So,
delicious.
and this Saturday though,
I was
we're
about to say,
having
what's this
our
March 19th?
our big festival is the Love the Spring in Lenore Festival. This spring, or this Saturday, is March 19th, 11 to 4:30. We're gonna have a huge festival right out here in the parking lot behind us,
Okay.
and we'll be out there serving mead. We'll have Twisted Vine Winery there with us, and we're hoping for 2 of the local breweries to make it out too, along with food trucks and over 40 craft vendors. There's going to be representatives from other local businesses in downtown. It's going to be packed. Total, there's 62 vendors that are going to be here.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be intense amount of like things going on, but it's geared mostly to adults. There's not really any activities for children. Even the face painting we're having is going to be like adult Viking War face painting.
Whoa. Now, what was the time frame that you said on that?
11 to 4:30.
Anytime that I'm here.
But
When did you get off?
On the 19th, which is this Saturday, my sister has a wedding, but I may not show up to work.
All I'm saying is you might get to meet some of us.
Yeah,
In
if
the
you guys
crowd.
show up, we may be here. We may be
Okay.
here.
Lenore, North Carolina.
Another like weird. I don't know if you get asked this a lot because I know Meadery, especially within the area, we only see like Vikings blood, and then here recently I've started seeing yours. What is the competitorship that you have going into Mead?
None. I don't operate on if I do better, someone else is doing less, or vice versa. You know, if their business is doing great, that doesn't mean my business is doing less. And the way my mother-in-law taught me to make mead is pretty different than the modern standard. Obviously, I've done a lot of research and books and that kind of thing, and like we use modern practices, but we still use her old school technique. It's all done by hand, bottled by hand, made. You know, we don't have any fancy equipment or any of that stuff to do it. It's all us. Like we're the power that's driving the machine. So there's meaderies. There's 2 meaderies on either side of us within 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and I've tried both their meads, and they're pretty different than ours. And I do encourage people to go out and try the meadery, so because we're all very different between theme and ownership. And
1 teaspoon of honey can
brew
change a lot of
style
different things.
and honey source too. So
Honey sources, as we talked about earlier before the camera.
What was
your
your question?
water source
Yeah,
and
ask
your-
your question. Let him answer that way.
So, I had heard before, I've never made mead, but I've heard before that the water supply makes the difference with your mead. Whether it is tap or spring fresh, can really change the flavors of your mead, and he can explain why.
So, water is very important. Water is life, not just for us, but everything, right? And so, tap water has been stripped and chemicalized, so it's not good for something you want to grow in to be. That's why it's so treated, so nothing grows in it. And then you have reverse osmosis water, which has been stripped of everything and mineral content included down to the point where it's a negative charge. So in that case, negative things try to draw things in, not give things away. And so it has a different flavor too. Spring water straight out of the ground is mineral rich and gives the yeast the life-giving minerals they need to survive and thrive, and it's fresh, clean water that hasn't been exposed to chemicals or anything like that. It's very important. And then honey source, you have honey from all over the world, every different flavor you can think of. Lavender honey, you got buckwheat honey, sourwood honey, wildflower honey, which is just a blend of all the honeys in the area, or pollen, I should say. And you have, like orange blossom honey from Florida, and almond blossom honey from California, and avocado blossom honey, and Brazilian honey, and honey from Australia. You can do whatever you want.
They're all distinctly unique.
They are all distinctly unique because of their pollen content. Like meadowfoam honey, the meadowfoam plant only grows in northwestern Washington. So you can only get that honey from that area, and it tastes like marshmallows.
Ooh. You make it s'more.
You could get honey from Arizona that tastes like mesquite because the bees went to mesquite trees. You could. So the sky is the limit with mead as far as like just on traditional meads. That's just spring water and honey. You can make 1,000 different meads with just those 2 ingredients. And you can use the same yeast the whole time, and each one would be totally different.
So I got one last question,
Sure.
and it's probably the best question. As we wind this down, we've all picked our 4, and then we're drinking on our favorites of them. I'm assuming because we all ordered another 6 ounce.
This is the Wolfsfang, and it's very.
If you come in here and you come to the front desk, you're gonna get treated with the best customer service that I've ever witnessed in my life. You can start out with a 4 ounce pour. You can start out with a 6 ounce pour, and I believe there's I'm assuming it's a 2 ounce. Is the little mini cups.
So these are, we have filled these guys. These are actually 4 ounce cups. So these are all real horn that are dipped in food grade epoxy.
You can see them kind of different.
Do we know what kind of horn, or
They come from a variety of places. The horns come from
just out of curiosity?
Africa, India, American, slaughterhouses.
Proves
that
that you
kind
could
of
possibly have a wildebeest horn if you
Yeah.
come here.
Could be.
Could be.
Well,
You don't
That's
know.
not out of the question.
this
That's
would be
important.
Ooh, horn. That is a real horn.
I need one of those.
That is
this
a
is-
man's horn.
this horn holds 4 1/4 bottles of
I like how you know.
4 1/4 bottles of mead.
I really love how he knows how much
just
it holds.
over a gallon.
That's important. That's important
That's
knowledge.
very important knowledge. That's a measurement. That's the new gallon.
I'll take 2.
But the biggest question that I have is, where can they find you? I know you guys have merch. Where can they get the merch? And what social media platforms do you guys have? So just let everybody know what you got, where they can get it, and how you guys do your thing.
So we are on Facebook and Instagram under MoonJoy Meadery. We're physically located in downtown Lenore, 110 Church Street Northwest, and we only sell in person or one of our friend stores that we're distributing to. To get merch, though, you do have to come here in person. We sell a wide variety of drinking horns, horn holders, rune sets, t-shirts, hoodies, beanies. We have altar cloths and some other things that are made
Because I
from
seen you had
rabbit
like a
skin.
room box.
Yeah, we have
sage bundles as well.
we sell candles, and they're all made by local people right here in town. make everything in our retail cabinet that we sell, all the candles, all the runes, all the horn holders and horns are all handmade. Just like the Mead, and perpetuates our like standard of high quality items. Why would we put, you know, something we put all this time and effort into making into a low quality container to drink out of? And part of our, you know, and that ties into the customer service you were talking about, like where we give everyone.
And a lot of this, guys,
individual
you'll see a lot of this here in a minute. If he's up for it, I'll do a separate video from the review, and we will walk through, if he's okay with it, showing us everything from the display cabinet and everything else like that. I don't want to take this time too much, but we'll try to do a separate video, and then we'll kind of get it all together so you can experience what we experienced from entrancing through this door here into this amazing room that we're in.
Atmosphere. It's just a wonderful atmosphere in this whole building.
It is a nice atmosphere. It's
Everything
very homey.
disappears. The worries and concern and everything just kind of disappears.
We're trying to make
It's a
it
happy place.
a happy, comfortable place that was relaxing, and
Very warm.
everything from the music we play to the candles we burn. It's an immersive experience.
Well, guys, you heard it best. You heard it from the man himself. Daniel, he told you where you can find him, where you can come here and you can show up in Lenore. You've met Levi, you've met Gabe. We're all here. We're here having fun drinking. And I can tell you, I've done a lot of taste testings. If you've ever been to Tennessee, Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forest, there's one on every single block. But I guarantee you've never been to a taste testing that's quite like this one. And you may think like, oh, well, it's just a Nook, but it's the best cranny that you're ever going to find. And the Meads are the best that I've had to date, that I can say. The customer service is the best. The complimentary talks, you know, to have the actual owner and maker come in and talk on this channel is really huge. So a huge thanks to Daniel for coming out here and doing that.
First?
Yeah, I've never had somebody on the channel, you know, like this. I've never been a public reviewer before. This is the second time that I've done. My first public review was in the middle of Biltmore Estate, so I mean it was really huge. So doing this is really
Started out strong.
Yeah, exactly. Like stepping out there and doing this huge thing.
Straight to Biltmore.
We're going stronger now, though.
Yeah, we stepped out there with a huge result, and this is great. So I really appreciate you for letting us come out here and do this.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thank
It's
you.
great.
I know we didn't come out the first day. We had actually planned this a week ago, but some things have actually occurred, and it was great that we actually got to come up here today and do this. And I'm assuming that we're going to do this a couple more times.
Yeah.
You know, you got
Yeah, we won't
anytime
scratch it.
you
We have a lot more to do.
anytime you
More
have a
beats,
seasonal
try.
change and you want to promote some sort of seasonal change, let us know. We'll come up here, we'll try it for you. And the best thing that I say, and everybody calls me an asshole for it, but I'm honest. Whether it's bad, it's bad. It's
Honesty
good, it's
is
good.
valued no matter where you're at.
Just because I'm sitting next to the guy doesn't mean I'm going to tell him it's great. The ones that I've had have actually been really great.
They've all been delicious.
And
I could have
I've
just
had
as
people tell
easily
me,
had a
tastes
bad
like
one.
this, tastes like that. Like, tell me what it tastes like to you.
I could have
And,
easily had a bad one
I
and be
know.
like, hey man, it's bad. You know, I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not worried about any of that controversial stuff. A lot of people think that.
I'm not saying like
It's a building opportunity.
these are a lot of, you know,
I
you're
would
here
say.
16 months into operation, you know, some of our earlier recipes, not all of them were hits.
Yeah.
And
Growing
that's
from the
okay,
beginning.
you know what I mean? We've done over 40, 50 recipes now, and we've only been open 16 months. So I'm constantly coming out with new stuff, and sometimes it works, sometimes it's awesome.
Yeah. Being out and being able to come out here and be like, hey, man, you know, this one just tastes terrible. And that's how I am. I'm very honest, and I can say that the ones that we've tried today, other than these four, I guarantee we've probably tried every single thing on your list today.
Definitely tried
between the
most.
four of us.
Dark horse. Thank you.
We have not found a bad drink in this area, in
No.
your store.
I appreciate
alone.
it.
Everything
Thank you.
is tip-top delicious.
Yeah. From coming in to exploring, and guys, I'm telling you, you're gonna see this on the
Each
next video.
different. To every single one of them is different, but they're all just as good as the next.
Guys, like I said, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching.
No.
She's the best. She's going to be the one that's going to be helping you at the door. Again, I'm Justin. This is Gabe. That's Levi. This is Daniel. He owns this place. We're here to make you guys better. We're trying to do different reviews. But till later, till next time, till always, I'm Justin. I try so you guys don't have to, and I buy it so you guys don't have to. And I'm going to be buying some before I leave. I'm already stuttering over myself.
Of course.
But guys, y'all have a blessed rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm not sure when this video is going to upload, but I'm doing them where we do like the walkthrough, and then you guys will see this. I'm going. Going. Guys, this has been great. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Y'all are the best. But till later, till next, until always, I'm Justin. This is Daniel, Gabe, Levi. We've had an amazing time talking about meads and learning things that we didn't know before. Y'all are amazing, and I'll see you again very soon.
Let's go.
Let's go!